What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with my top 25 prospects on the 2025 Bowman Chrome checklist. Now, this is set to release on September 24th and combines some of the people from the previous year's draft, but focuses mainly on the international prospect class from 2025. Now, before we get into these top 25 prospects, I'm going to talk to you about my LTWR, which is my Let's Talk Wax rank, and my JUG, which is my Juggernaut stat-based ranking system. My Let's Talk Wax ranking system is based on player ceiling, and it is based on also my personal opinion from going through stats, watching some video, reading reports on all these players. You can see Elite is a future MLB MVP ceiling, and 7 is an upper level minor league ceiling. And the ranks in between, you can see those as well. If you want to take a screenshot of this, I use this in almost all of my content, and I do use 0.5 increments as well because I'm kind of torn which way to go. So keep that in mind as well. You'll also see rankings for Jug under all of these players. These are my Juggernaut Let's Talk Wax prospect rankings, and they are based solely on stats that I created different weights for. You can find rankings that have just been updated for the end of the season over on my Patreon page for all minor league prospects. And like I said, these are stat-based only. They do not really have any of my input with the exception of the stats that I used. You can see here which stats I used and the different weights that I applied to those stats. But like I said, if you want to find all of my Juggernaut rankings, you can check that out over on the Patreon page. We're going to kick this video off with Jordan Sanchez, who despite some really bad K numbers in 2025, still showed off some big production. He's a bit old for the complex league, although I'll be interested to see how his contact rates improve or digress in a full season of A-ball in 2026. He's spending the majority of his time in right field, so there isn't going to be much upside there. He'll be a player to keep an eye on in 2026 as well. He looks like a high-risk, high-ceiling possibility with a power-over-hit profile. At number 24, I've got Harrison Castillo. He's a youngster with really good underlying data. DSL-only players are a gamble, but I do have more faith in the ones that have good underlying data. He didn't show off much power, but it looks like there is at least solid hit tool here. Pretty even splits between second base and shortstop and we'll have to see where he ends up defensively, but the shortstop is definitely going to be a little bit better than playing second base. At number 23, I've got John Gill, who is a burner with a solid hit tool that could really take off if he runs into any power throughout his development. While his power is still limited, it's improved over the course of 3 seasons. He spends the majority of his reps at shortstop and is still quite young considering he's played 3 years of affiliated ball. Julian Barreto at number 22 had really good contact numbers in the DSL this season, but didn't get to much power for a player who already gets the majority of his reps at second base. As I mentioned before, shortstops have a bit of a defensive premium. Second basemen need to hit for a little more higher offensive output than a shortstop for sure in this generation of baseball. While its underlying data is great, he'll need to get the ball in the air more if he plans on getting into any power in the future. He's going to have to cut back his ground ball to fly ball rate for sure. Yairo Padilla at number 21 has solid contact and speed tools at the present moment and really improved his K numbers from the DSL to the complex league. He posted some high ground ball fly ball rates as well in 2025 and didn't run into any power at all. Power dependent ceiling player with a speed contact floor. Now, if you guys are enjoying this video, be sure to check out my Patreon page. I have a lot of exclusive content over there that never even makes it to YouTube. You can find my autograph checklist breakdowns for all releases from 2019 to 2025, including 2025 Bowman Chrome autograph checklist breakdown. I've got team break guides for all releases from 2020 to 2025, including 2025 Bowman Chrome, which I just published last week. I do a top 150 Bowman Chrome autos list at the beginning of every season. You get early access to all of my YouTube information, my YouTube videos, podcasts, and articles from me and Bobby. My Juggernaut rankings, as I mentioned before, are also over there. That ranks all prospects based on stats. And you also get exclusive content such as Patreon articles that never see YouTube or anything else. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link to it in the video description. We also have a private Discord server that gives you daily prospect news, hobby insights, information on promotions and call-ups in season, a buy, sell, trade section, grading help channel. We've got personal advertising over there and also some community breaks. And Bobby does a great job helping moderate that Discord server. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link to the description as well. Moving on to 20 through 16 with Liberts Aponte, who has an above average power tool with reasonable K numbers in the DSL. We'll have to wait until he comes stateside to see how his offensive profile looks with better pitching. Power hitting shortstops are quite popular in this hobby, but only the future will tell if he can stick at the position and keep hitting bombs as he increases levels. At number 19, we've got Diego Tornes. He's a big kid standing at 6'2" and played in the DSL at age 16. He showed off a good contact and speed tool, but hasn't run into any power as of yet. He's one of the younger players on this checklist, so it may take some time for him to develop more power, if he does at all. At number 18, we've got Jose Anderson, who has a similar profile to Jordan Sanchez, but he's much younger and already has a nearly full season of A-ball under his belt. He's flashed some big power numbers for his age, but his contact and K data isn't great. He'll most likely end up in a corner outfield position, but he could produce enough bat to overcome his lack of defensive upside. He's going to be another guy to watch in 2026, especially if he's cheap on release day. Shotaro Mori is a two-way player, although I don't think he's made his professional debut on the mound yet. He's got a pretty high power ceiling offensively and provides plenty of velocity on the mound. He did show some contact risk this season in the Complex League, but he'll probably be a hit over power type bat in the future. I'm not sure how the two-way player hype will affect his prices on release day, probably a lot if I know this hobby well enough. At number 60, we've got Devin Fitzgerald, a 5th round pick out of high school in the 2024 draft, and he had a big year in the Complex League despite being a bit old for the level. Limited production over a small sample size after a promotion to low A, the power production in the future will determine his ceiling as there aren't many plus physical tools present. At number 15, we've got Juan Cabada, who's limited physically and doesn't have much defensive upside, but the offensive numbers are decent enough to give me some sleeper vibes here, depending on his price on release. At number 14, we've got Johan De Los Santos with double plus wheels and an above average contact tool with data to back it. I'm sure he is batting averages juiced by his ability to leg out infield hits, but he's got the best K percentage and second best swinging strike percentage of any player I've covered so far on this list. He's also the youngest too so far. He hasn't run into much power, but his ground ball to fly ball rates aren't terrible, so be sure to keep an eye on his power numbers in 2026. At number 13, we've got Ko Ching Xian. Had a great season in the Complex League. He's 6'3" and physical with above average speed. Will most likely profile into a corner outfield spot. He started playing left field more frequently in low A. He did struggle in a small sample size at low A, but he was young for the level. A full season of low A data next year will give us a better look at his offensive profile. He did also have high ground ball to fly ball rates in 2025 as well. At number 12, we've got Tommy Tanks White, who was the 40th overall pick in the 2024 draft. I spent a lot of time watching him at LSU, and he's got a lot of thump. The issues with him here were limited approach and chase. He's had a solid season so far in 2025, earning a recent promotion to AA, where he's doing well for his first taste of the level. I think the ceiling will be dependent on getting the ball in the air a bit more and pulling the trigger on more pitches he can drive in the future. At number 11, we've got Marco Dingus, drafted in the 4th round of the 2024 draft out of Florida State University. His pro debut was pretty much a wash with a small 55 plate appearance sample size. He started the 2025 season in low A and put up some big numbers. Following a promotion to high A, he continued to hit for average and power. He was good for 10 home runs across roughly 300 plate appearances in 2025 with decent K numbers. The bat looks to be the carrying tool here, and if he doesn't stick behind the plate, he might end up in a corner outfield spot. Leading off our top 10 is Bo Davidson, who's a high-speed power ceiling and gets to the majority of his reps in center field. He could get more power if he got the ball in the air more. He's got consistently high ground ball to fly ball rates across larger sample sizes. He's hit for average across 3 seasons, struggling a bit in his first taste of AA, so he'll need to hit the ground running in 2026 based on his current age. At number 9, we've got Kevin Alvarez, who has even better underlying data than Gonzalez, which is hard to do. He's a 6'4" lefty hitter at age 17 and will have plenty of time to add to his frame and develop power. He spent the majority of his time in center field in the DSL, but will most likely end up in a corner outfield spot. His bat will be the carrying tool, and I'm very optimistic here about his ability to hit when he gets to stateside based on his elite underlying data. At number 8, we've got Gabriel Davalillo, number 17 international ranked prospect in MLB.com's 2025 class. Looks like a power hitting backstop with excellent K data. More walks than Ks and a 6.7 swinging strike percentage is plus. There look to be several high DSL performers in this checklist. It's almost like a lottery though to see which one's paying out in 2 to 3 years. At number 7, we've got Elorki Rodriguez, who had a solid professional debut in the DSL, and he's the number 29 ranked international prospect in MLB.com's 2025 class. He's got excellent underlying data with the exception of ground ball to fly ball being a bit high. He kind of fits into a utility mold defensively and got the majority of his reps at second base and center field in 2025. From what I've read, he doesn't possess any plus tools, but he's a solid player. It's always a coin flip to see how these DSL dominators will perform after coming stateside. At number 6, we've got Andrew Salas, who was the youngest player in the minor leagues to play a full season in low A. While his production numbers don't jump out at you, he's got some quality underlying data as well. He's got plus speed and athleticism with an advanced approach for his age, a 16.6% walk rate. I listed him as a utility. He played 373 innings in center field and split the rest of his defensive reps between shortstop and second base. It's hard to read young prospects who are challenged significantly age level-wise. The Marlins are also pretty bad at developing hitters, so there could be some risk here if his cards are expensive on release, which I do think they will be. Now, before we get into our top 5, we're going to take a look at some honorable mentions and top pitchers in this release. Zach Cole has absolutely blown up at the major league level after a really good pro debut where he hit I think he had a home run and 3 hit. It was 4 for 4 with a home run. We've got Kyle Karros, who's also at the major league level, and Nathan Church as well. I did not include these guys in the prospecting section of this video because they're all at the major league level, and they're also all, I believe, over the age of 24. Some of the bigger arms on this release are Carlos Lagrange, Henry Baez, Kevin DeFrank, Trevor Harrison, and Cam Schlitter. And if you guys want to get a complete look at my breakdown, like I said, you can get it over on Patreon. A link is in the video description. We've got some heavy hitters in our top 5, starting with Ilian Pena, who's the number 3 ranked prospect in MLB.com's 2025 international class. He had a great season in the DSL and checked all the boxes stats-wise. The scouting report says 5-tool player with great makeup. All the underlying data looks really good. If I was being nitpicky, I'd say the swinging strike percentage could use a bit of work, but that's just me being nitpicky. I don't put a lot of stock in DSL stats, so I'm anxious to see how he handles stateside ball in 2026. Quick reminder, I should have said this at the beginning of the video, I don't go above ranks of 2.5 for DSL only players because I have gotten severely burnt in the past when they come stateside. But I do think he'll be one of the top chases on release day. At number 4, we've got Chris Rodriguez, who's the number 4 ranked prospect in MLB.com's 2025 international class. He's a 6'3" physical outfielder with high power ceiling. He performed very well in the DSL at age 17 and will most likely make his stateside debut in 2026. He's probably going to groom into a corner outfield position as he matures, and he'll need to prove he can keep his swing and miss down as he moves up in the system. He's looking like a high-risk, high-ceiling player right now. I also, like I said, never rank players with the DSL-only stats higher than 2.5 due to the amount of fallout that occurs when they come stateside. At number 3, we've got Josuar Gonzalez, who might be the top chase in this release and is the number 1 ranked international prospect on MLB.com's 2025 class, that is under the age of 23. He's got plus athleticism and showed off some really good underlying data in the DSL this season. Gonzalez could develop into an above-average shortstop with the ability to hit for power, average, and steal bases, or he could fade off into the nether like other top-ranking international prospects like Christian Vecchiero and Roderick Arias. I feel more comfortable with Gonzalez because his underlying data is much better than all the bust prospects from years prior. At number 2, we've got Nate George, who dominated the Complex League and Low A in 2025. He was recently promoted to High A where he's struggling a bit, but that's to be expected at his current age of 19.2. George is very athletic and has impact in-game speed. He's shown the ability to hit for average and power, which will most likely determine his ceiling in the future. I'm a bit worried about his high ground ball to fly ball rates right now, but they could get better as he improves his approach in the future. Depending on where his prices settle, he could be one of the biggest sleepers on this release. At number 1, I've got Rainiel Rodriguez, and he reminds me a lot of Francisco Alvarez with less arm behind the plate. Rodriguez has shown off some big juice and excellent contact rates across 3 levels in his early career. He posted some of the best K data to date after being promoted to Low A, which is rare for young prospects. Prior to his 19th birthday, he's already racked up 27 home runs in his pro career. At this point, he's looking like a future impact bat, but his skills behind the plate will need to catch up. He could make a push for highest release date price based on his current power output and age. But let's all hope he's actually 18 and not 23. Now, as I mentioned before, if you guys enjoyed this content, don't forget to check out my Patreon page. Lots of exclusive content and early access to all of my YouTube stuff over there. Check it out. The link's in the video description. And if Patreon's not your thing, we also have a private Discord server. I'll put a link in the video description to that as well. A quick shout out to all of my level 2 Patreon subscribers. You guys rock. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my future videos. And be sure to let me know in the comments who you will be chasing in this release on September 24th. Y'all have a great day.